Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very happy to have the association of His Grace Pramod Nitai Prabhuji. He will be sharing Bhagavad Gita from 4th canto, 26th chapter, 21st verse. The chapter is titled King Puranjana goes to the forest to hunt and his queen becomes angry. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Prabhu.
Please start, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, can I get a sharing this one?
Yes, you can start sharing.
Just a moment, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Mukam Kuroti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkripatamam Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 26th verse and shloka number 21. Puranjana uvacha nunam tva akarta punyaste britya yeshu ishvara sube kratagasvu atmasat kritva siksha dandam nayunjate. Puranjana uvacha nunam tva akarta punyaste britya yeshu ishvara sube kritagasvu atmasat kritva siksha dandam nayunjate. Puranjana uvacha, Puranjana said, nunam, certainly, tu, then, akarta punya, those who are not pious, te, such, Britya, servants, Yeshu, unto whom, Ishvara, the master, Subhe, O auspicious one, Krita Agasu, having committed an offense, Atmasat, accepting as their own, Kritva, doing so, Siksha, instructive, Dandam, punishment, Na yunjate, do not give. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. King Puranjana said, my dear beautiful wife, when a master accepts a servant as his own man, but do not punish him for his offense, the servant must be considered unfortunate. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. According to Vedic civilization, domestic animals and servants are treated exactly like one's own children. Animal and children are sometimes punished not out of vengeance, but out of love. Similarly, a master continues punishment sometimes. Similarly, a master sometimes punishes a servant not out of vengeance, but out of love. to correct him and bring him to the right point. The king Puranjana took his punishment dealt by his wife, the queen, as mercy upon him. He considered himself the most obedient servant of the queen. She was angry at him for his sinful activities, namely hunting in the forest and leaving her at home. King Puranjana accepted the punishment as actual love and affection from his wife. In the same way, when a person is punished by the laws of material of nature, by will of God, he should not be disturbed. A real devotee thinks in this way. When a devotee is put in awkward position, he takes it as a mercy of the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavatam 10 canto 14.8 verse, Tatteno kampa sumikshamano bunja nayevatman kritam vipakam Ridavag vapurbe vidadhan namaste jiva tayo mukti padesa dayabhak. The verse states that devotee accepts a reversal of his position in life as a benediction by the Lord and consequently offers the Lord more obeisances and prayers, thinking that the punishment is due to his past misdeeds and the Lord is punishing him very mildly. The punishment awarded by the state or gods for one's own fault is actually for one's benefit. In Manu Samhita, it is said that king should be considered merciful when he condemns a murderer to a death, because a murderer punished in this life becomes freed from his sinful activities and in the next life takes birth cleared of all sins. If one accepts punishment as a reward dealt by the master, he becomes intelligent enough not to commit the mistakes again. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare. Thank you for giving me this opportunity for speaking and reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever I say is for my purification. So, in this verse, we see the importance of chastisement. So, it is said in this verse, this chastisement and punishment is out of love. So, it is very important that chastisement and punishment in our life, it is considered to be a blessing. So, we can see from this verse how Puranjana took this chastisement from his queen as a love. So when it comes to the when subordinate, so if the master loves the servant and the master has got a lot of affection towards the servant, that is a disciple or a guru, so chastisement and punishment will automatically come. So when a master takes the responsibility of a servant, that means when he takes the responsibility of a servant, then he gives some instruction to the servant. So when the instruction comes, when the instruction is not followed, naturally the chastisement, the guru will chastise the disciple, or the servant or the master will chastise the subordinate. So chastisement is for one's own, it is good for the disciple. So this chastisement and punishment are very, very important in our life, in our relationship. Only when the subordinate he surrenders to the master and then hears from the instruction from him, and then if the instruction is not followed, then the chastisement also he has to take. So but if the superior is only glorifying the disciple, and disciple will not make any progress. So similarly, we can see in our devotional service, only if somebody is glorifying us, and it is not. We will not progress in the devotional service. So, but just by glorification, no one is progressed in this world. Only if you keep on glorifying them, you're doing very good. Whatever is done, the mistakes are not being corrected. Then, if it starts only glorifying, then definitely the disciple or the subordinate will not grow or progress in spiritual life. So, what the subordinate for the strangers, example we see when we go to when we speak to the strangers, and the strangers, we go speak to them very kindly, and we make them very comfortable, and we will not chastise them. So, but they're only the strangers. But when it comes to the relationship, when it comes to the guru and disciple relationship, automatically they the instruction is has to be followed. If the instruction has not been followed, then the chastisement will come and punishment is also will come. So we see in this many occasions, guru means in previous sloka Bhagavatam, somebody was explaining that guru means heavy. So guru doesn't give always the sweet words, unless he'll not glorify the disciple, or he doesn't speak in a very sweet voice, sweet words or something like that. Guru means also he has to give the chastisement and punishment. Only then the disciples he makes good for his disciple. So unfortunately, in this material world, we see when the government or a king gives the punishment to the praja, so they criticize the king or the government, because why it is unhumanly to give especially when it gives the punishment of death. So even in the olden days, the king used to give the punishment. So the punishment is for his it's for his it's one good. It is good because the sinful activities will stop there, and in next life they can start with the new life, so that there are all the sinful activities is in this one. So in this verse it states, a real devotee thinks in that way. When a devotee is put in an awkward position, he takes it as a mercy of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada states in this verse that when a devotee is put in an awkward position, he takes the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So it is the mercy of the Supreme Lord, or it is the mercy of the spiritual master. When it is put into the awkward position, it is a mercy. So one time when I heard His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami, we know the Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj is very strong, and he speaks very very strongly. So when he came to Bhubaneswar, then he wanted to give a Bhagavatam class, and when his Bhagavatam class is about to start, then he sees that one of his disciples is not there, is missing. So he asked, where is that disciple? Then the other devotees told that he is chanting on the terrace. So Gaur Govind Maharaj was very very upset. What is that? When the spiritual master comes, and he has to hear from the spiritual master, not that he has to go and chant. So get him. So all the devotees went and asked that devotee. So that devotee was not ready to come. So Gaur Govind Maharaj was very, very upset and very heavy on him. So he said, you drag that person, you drag the devotee, and let him come here and hear my Bhagavatam. So the devotees went, and they brought this devotee, dragged the devotee, and brought him near Gaur Govind Maharaj. But this is happening all in front of the other devotees, and Bhagavatam is not yet started. And the devotee somehow he could not take this chastisement, so he was very angry at Maharaj, and he was staring at Maharaj. So Maharaj said, why are you staring at me? A disciple should not look at the eyes of the spiritual master, and you just look down. And he was chastising it, and he was really taken. The disciple really was taken back, and then Gaur Govind Maharaj was still very upset, and he said, you as a disciple, if you will not hear my instruction, I will reject you as my disciple. He chastises that, and the disciple, unfortunately, the disciple could not, take this chastisement of the Guru, and he left. And after that, after some time, he was sitting outside the room. Maharaj was sitting outside the room, and then he was talking to the devotees. And Maharaj asked, if the devotee comes, and actually the Maharaj was in tears, and if that disciple comes and asks for this forgiveness, I can give the love of God today, he said. So it is the spiritual master is only doing good for the disciple. If he's chastising, it is only good for the disciple, and it's only the pure love which is God towards the disciple, and it chastises the disciple. So the devotee left. Unfortunately, that he could not take the chastisement of the Guru, and then he became like any other ordinary person, and is not practicing very nicely. Just he's been as a devotee. So if the disciple does not take the chastisement, and the progress of his devotional service is he could not make the progress. So sometimes the reversal will happen in our life. This verse also says that the devotee accepts a reversal of his position in life as a benediction by the Lord, and consequently offers the Lord more prayers and thinking the punishment is due to his past misdeeds, and the Lord is punishing him very mildly. So Prabhupada states that. Prabhupada writes in his, he writes a letter to his devotee. So the devotee was suffering for some other reason. So he writes to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada replies him back, it is too bad that you are suffering. But he says, however, this may be taken as the mercy of the Lord. Prabhupada writes in a letter. So if the Lord gives us some inconvenience, then we may take that as a reduced our actual punishment and given as a token of punishment. So Prabhu was right. If the Lord gives us some punishment, it is due to our past misdeeds. It is due to our very karma. But he is giving us just a token of love. I mean, token of punishment. That's all. So, and also Prabhupada further writes, so if you remain fixed at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and always thinking of him and trying to render some little bit service to him, everything will come all right. It is nice that you are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and reading Bhagavata as it is. Continue that chanting, continue that, and Krishna will surely give you protection. And he states, Kaunteha Prajidanati Name Bhakta Pranashyati. So Prabhupada also is saying here that it is only a token of, we may be having so many bad karmas, we don't know. But when Prabhupada also states elsewhere, just by, it should have happened by our karma that we take, by a big accident or something like that. But we get only a little bit cut in our finger or leg or something like that, because it is a very token of punishment, that's all. So also Prabhupada states, one of the, he gives this analogy of that in the court. In a court, an important man is sometimes, found guilty to be a culprit. So the judge may be able to find him. He may give hundreds and thousands of dollars as a punishment, but the judge just gives the punishment. Okay, now you have to just pay $1 or $100 or whatever it is. So it is the punishment, but it is a punishment. Definitely, it is a punishment, but the punishment is greatly minimized. So similarly, even in our life, we could have got a much more bad punishment, but it gives us a little. Krishna gives only little to the devotee, and it is greatly minimized. The suffering is sometimes it comes, but but we should understand even the suffering as the mercy of the Lord. So, so I want to take some Leela of the Supreme Lord, especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the punishment is considered to be a great, a great benediction. So we can see in this Leela that how the punishment or the punishment is a great benediction and the love of the Supreme Lord. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, so the great festival is there. The famous festival, it is called punishment festival. This is called Danda Mahotsav. It is Danda. Danda means it is punishment. So we can see that Raghunatha Goswami is a great devotee of the Lord, and is very, very, he was practicing, and he was very renounced at a very early age. He was renounced. So he want to run out of the house, and he want to join the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Raghunath Goswami came out of the house, and he said he want to join his movement and serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you cannot come out of the house just like that, and you just go back, and the time will reveal that you will then you can just come and serve. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends Raghunatha Dasa Goswami to his house. So after 2 years, Nityananda Prabhu came to Panihatti. So Raghunatha Goswami was staying nearby his village, very nearby that Panihatti village. And then Raghunatha Goswami hears that Lord Nityananda Prabhu has come. So he comes, and Lord Nityananda was sitting on the rock under the banyan tree and near the Ganges. So when Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, when he saw Nityananda from distance, he did not want to go in front of Nityananda Prabhu. He was a little bit hesitant, and he paid the obeisances from the distance. And some of the devotees saw and told Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda called, "Oh Raghunatha, Raghunatha, you were a thief. Now you have been caught red-handed. Now you are a thief," he shouts at Raghunatha Goswami. Now Raghunatha Goswami comes near Lord Nityananda, and Lord Nityananda placed his lotus feet on the head of Raghunatha Goswami. So Raghunatha Goswami was very happy, and he said, "You have to take this punishment." What is this punishment? You have to feed all my associates with Chida Handai. And Raghunatha Goswami was very happy, and he was, as the instruction of Chaitanya, after instruction of Lord Nityananda, he got all the ingredients, Chida, Dahi, the sweets, and everything, and he fed the associates of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. So this is the mercy, this is the chastisement and punishment on Raghunatha Goswami, which came the benediction for Raghunatha Goswami. And there Raghunatha Goswami was very, very happy. In this pastimes, I want to narrate a few of the pastimes, so where we can learn that chastisement is a very benediction. This one. Similarly, one time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a great respect towards Advaita Acharya. So because Advaita Acharya was very elderly person than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Acharya is a disciple of Madhvendra Puri, and Madhvendra Puri is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master is Ishwara Puri, and Ishwara Puri's spiritual master is Madhvendra Puri, and Madhvendra Puri disciple is Advaita Acharya. So he's a very senior person. So he's seeing as a guru. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees Advaita Acharya as a guru, and he has a great respect towards Advaita Acharya. So when Advaita Acharya, whenever he sees Advaita Acharya, he would glorify, he would pay obeisances to Advaita Acharya. So this Advaita Acharya was not at all comfortable, and he wants to be a servant of the Lord. And he was feeling so much awkward when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies him and pays obeisances to him. But somehow or the other, he wants to stop this. So Advaita Acharya makes a plan. Then he makes a plan that somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I should make him angry, so that he will accept me as a servant, so that he will chastise me. So Advaita Acharya, he devised a plan to make Supreme Lord happy, angry. And then, so he thought that what will make Chaitanya Mahaprabhu angry? The only thing it makes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu angry is impersonal philosophy, teaching impersonal philosophy. So Chaitanya, Lord Advaita Acharya, he planned for a 6-day seminar of impersonal philosophy. So when he was giving all sorts of impersonal philosophy, then the news came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not believe that Advaita Acharya can preach impersonal philosophy. Then he thought he and Nityananda Prabhu lives to now he wants to go to see Advaita Acharya. So on the way to Advaita Acharya, so some other pastime is there in between. I'll skip that. So then he Ishwarapuri, Shantipur. He met Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reaches Shantipur. And when Mahaprabhu reaches Shantipur, he sees Advaita preaching impersonal philosophy. So when Advaita also sees Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started preaching even more vigorously. And he says, we are all one. A God is one and we are all one. So he was preaching this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became angry and he came and Advaita, and he was chastising him and he was catching hold of his neck. Then he said, you tell me, bhakti is highest or gnana is highest? And Advaita Acharya said that bhakti is like mirror and gnana is like 2 eyes. So only when we got 2 eyes, then only we can see in the mirror. So bhakti is like a mirror and gnana is like 2 eyes. Only when we got 2 eyes, we can see in the mirror. This is gnana will be the eyes. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets more angry and is chastising and is beating Advaita Acharya. And Nityananda Prabhu was there. So Nityananda Prabhu was there, and then he was laughing, Nityananda Prabhu, and even Haridas Thakur was laughing. But wife of Advaita Acharya Prabhu is crying, don't beat him, he's a very old man, he will die. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then Advaita Acharya is stating, I'm the servant of now I'm very happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Aryadas, I'm the servant of Chaitanya. I'm the Lord of Chaitanya, servant of Chaitanya. See, then he says, now where are your all the respect you are doing? You are chastising me. That means you accept me as your servant. I'm your servant. Now today I'm very happy. Then Lord Chaitanya, he came to know that this was all plan of Advaita Acharya and device plan. And he says that why I was very happy sitting in the causal ocean, and you called me here to make me this. And he was then this is all the pastimes of Raghunatha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya want to get the chastisement from the Supreme Lord. See how is this humility of Advaita Acharya. So the real pure devotee of the Lord, the real disciple or this one, they want to always get the chastisement. So they want to get the chastisement so that they will always be servant of the Supreme Lord or a servant of the spiritual master. If we get the glorification, we will never surrender to the Lord and we will never surrender to the disciples. Thereby, we will never get the taste of the Krishna consciousnness, and thereby we cannot progress in Krishna consciousness. So these pastimes gives us so much lessons, so that we can learn by this pastime that chastisement and punishment is very important in the disciples' life. So similarly, one other pastime, which again in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can see how this chastisement and punishment is very important. So when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24, so he wanted to see his mother Sachimata. So somehow Lord Nityananda planned that all the other devotees was missing association of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Nityananda made to he make some plan, and he brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Navadvip. Yeah. So when he came to Navadvip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had taken sannyas at the age of 24. So when he sees his mother, he was very much, he came to meet his mother, Sachimata. And Sachimata also was waiting to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when he sees Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sachimata and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also crying to see his mother. And Sachimata also was very much wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also crying, and Sachimata also crying. It is great. And because Sachimata was used to see Mahaprabhu as an Nimai Pandit for 24 years. So she was used, but when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, so she was not, she was saying that, oh, what happened to your beautiful hair? It was like, now you're wearing sannyas, and what an austerity you're taking. Like that, Sachimata was weeping. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also weeping, missing the association of Sachimata. So Sachimata hugged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also hugged his mother, and she was kissing and everything in the front of the public. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Sachimata, he bent and touched the lotus feet of Sachimata and took the blessings. But you can see, as a sannyasi, as a social, a sannyasi is not supposed to come and do this sort of things with his mother and touch the lotus feet of the mother. But this is the love for a devotee. She's not only a mother; she has so much love for his mother, and she's very greatly attached to Nimai Pandit, as a Nimai Pandit. And Mahaprabhu says that, oh Sachima, oh mother, so I cannot live without you. If you say that, no, I will stay. My life is for you. My body is for yourself. And if you stay that, I will leave everything and stay with you. And Sachimata says that, Sachimata thinks that if it is not good for a sannyasi, and people will criticize if a sannyasi stays with the mother at home. So Sachimata says that, no, you have to go to Jagannath Puri and stay there. So on the instruction of his mother, and Mahaprabhu lives for Jagannath Puri, because Jagannath Puri is very near to Navadvip. So because it is very near, so that she can get the news from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's from time to time. So Sachimata thought that if it is very near, then I can get the news of my son, Nimai Pandit or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So she sends them to Puri. So after that also, Sachimata could not meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for even not many times she met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this loving relationship was going on. So much of love between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sachimata. So Sachimata, Sachimata, you can see here, Sachimata, for the pleasure of his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for the pleasure of the Lord, she was ready to give up the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his pleasure, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to do something, he wanted to preach in a much this one. So she understood the mood of Lord Chaitanya. She understood that it is for his pleasure, and he gave up the association of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after that, this shows that how much love and how much attachment to the Supreme Lord, both the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sachimata has got so much of love. So even it's why I told this past time, it still continues, because even after having so much of love with Sachimata had love, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has so much of respect and love for his mother, but once he told Sachimata that you cannot go back to Godhead. You cannot go back to Godhead in this lifetime at all. Why? Because Sachimata had offended Advaita Acharya. So Sachimata was a very simple devotee, and she was very simple, and she has got great love towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And she was thinking, what mistake I have made? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that your son and my elder brother Vishwarup, when he was going to the house of Advaita Acharya, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and doing Kirtan, you thought that by hearing Bhagavatam and doing Kirtan, by the influence of you, he ran away from the house and took sannyas. Who? The elder brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Vishwarup. So he went out of the house and he took sannyas. So in the mind, she was making the offense that only by the influence of Advaita Acharya, my elder son ran away from the house and took sannyas. And after that also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also associating with Lord Advaita Acharya. So she was even more concerned that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also will take sannyas. So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took sannyas. So in her mind, she was making this offense. Then, then he said, so then she was greatly, she was crying and weeping and everything, because she said, Mahaprabhu said that you cannot go back to the garden. That is what. So she was very worried, and she said, so I'll beg the forgiveness. And Mahaprabhu said, there is only one way out. You should, with great humility, you should ask Advaita Acharya forgiveness with a great humility and with the intention of taking the, asking the forgiveness. So then he said, then you should touch his feet and take his dust upon your head. So then Chachimata says that, how is it possible? So how is it possible? So, because Advaita Acharya, he considered me as a mother and I consider him as a son. So a son, now mother will not touch the feet of a son. So this is how can I do that? And he also, because you are my mother, you are my son, you are Lord. So that Advaita Acharya knows it, and he never allows me to touch his feet. And he's so strong and very huge. And how can he touch his feet? My mother was asking the question. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked his, he said that I will reveal myself to Advaita Acharya. Then Advaita Acharya will pay obeisances to me. He pays prostrated obeisances to me, and then from the behind you come and touch his feet and take his dust. Then Sachimata agrees this, and when Advaita Acharya came to Mahaprabhu, and when he put a prostrated obeisances, she came from the behind and touched the feet of Advaita Acharya and took the dust of the and asked for the forgiveness. And Advaita Acharya was he was not liking this. Mother, how can you do this to me? You are the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was not liking at all. And Sachimata said this because of all these things, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said that this is important for her to go back to Godhead. So if we can take the forgiveness of you, then it is good for her. So he convinced Advaita Acharya. So the lesson which is learned here is two things which is learned. One is the punishment, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loves his mother so much, loves his devotees so much, but he doesn't tolerate the offense to his devotees, because the Lord likes his devotees more than himself. So if somebody is offended, the Lord devotee is offended, then he will not forgive. So that there is a way out. Only when we go and ask forgiveness with a great humility, and then only there is a chance that we may be forgiven. So this is very important. Like sometimes, so many times in our surveys we were doing in our day-to-day life, when we are practicing, we are all practicing sadhakas. So we may be doing so many mistakes and so many offenses or something like that. When we know it, we consciously ask forgiveness from the devotee, so that offense may be forgiven. So, or else, if this offenses remains, then we will definitely not progress. Even the Lord is showing this in his pastime, that if it is devotees are offended, if my devotees are offended, then he will not tolerate that. The second thing is the punishment given, even the punishment was like a benediction. So this lesson is very important for us. Even in Chaitanya, even Bhagavata, in Krishna, Prabhupada writes in Krishna book that when Putana wanted to feed Krishna and he wanted to kill Krishna, but Krishna did not personally take it because she was coming to kill Krishna. But why Krishna wanted to kill Putana was Putana killed many was innocent children in Vrajabhumi. So he did not tolerate that children were being killed. So because of that, he took that offense and killed Putana. So even by killing the Putana, Prabhupada writes that we further understand from Vedic information that Putana was also treated as a mother and given the same facility as Yashoda. As Yashoda was given liberation from the material world, Putana was given liberation. So this even when Krishna gives some punishment, it is also great boon to us. That is, he will get the liberation. We can see from the pastimes of even Putana. So Krishna is very merciful. So this we should understand. In this verse, it is stated that this punishment, and also a murderer is punished in this life because he freed from the sinful activities, and in next life. So, and in next life also, when he takes birth, cleared of all sins. If one is accepted the punishment as reward dealt by the master, then he becomes intelligent enough not to commit the mistake again. The mistake, the only punishment is the master. Even those who take the subordinate, you should be intelligent enough not to commit the same mistakes again and again. So this is the learning from this verse today. And one more pastimes. I think there is a time. 5 minutes. Yes, I can go on for 5 minutes till. So even you can see in Bhagavatam when Bali Maharaj and in the pastimes of Bali Maharaj and Vaman Dev. So when Bali Maharaj was tied in ropes and he was punished, and Bali Maharaj did not take any offense, so that he did not take any offense. He was taking the offense he was taking the punishment as a great boon to him. And we should see that why we can't take punishment, because we want to show for our relatives that we are victorious, and we want to show our relatives, we want to show our friends that we are victorious. Nobody can chastise us, nobody can take the gives us a punishment. Now we are the controller, we are the masters. So this controller and the master, it doesn't work in the spiritual life. So we should be like dasanudasa. In that mood only, if we take the punishment as a reward, then we will progress in the spiritual life. So we can see in the past tense of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and in Bhagavata, and many times Srila Prabhupada also says, many letters Srila Prabhupada also writes this chastisement. And in Prabhupada, when he chastised many of his disciples, so all of his disciples, many of them, they come, they were greatly accepted this chastisement from Prabhupada, and then they have come out as a great devotees of the Lord. And they are serving, we can see all the great devotees of Srila Prabhupada. They are wonderful devotees, and they're serving Srila Prabhupada even now. So do you think only Prabhupada always glorified his disciples, and disciples was very happy, and it came out just like that? No, they took many chastisement, they took many punishment. So all this punishment is out of love for his disciples, so that the disciple, he was correcting his disciple. So similarly, we see that whenever a child, we punish our child, not the other child, because the child, I think we consider our child as our child, and because when we chastise, we are correcting the children like that. So this is very important in a devotee's life. So sometimes we have to check the chastisement and the punishment from the seniors, some the superiors, some the temple president, some Shiksha Guru, and we should not take it as an offense. But even the master is also thinking that by correcting the disciple is not because of his out of his ego, but to make him advance in the spiritual life, he will correct. So this we should understand, and we should try and make some hear some punishment, chastisement also, not only glorification, because the glorification makes our ego very this one our ego this one, because whenever we get used to the glorification. So whenever some devotee glorifies, we feel so nice. Oh, I'm glorified. So we expect for from all the other devotees or others, so to be glorifying. No, it cannot be like that. So when there is a love and care between the disciple and the master, between the seniors and the subordinates, or Shiksha Guru and disciple, there is a instruction given all the time. When the instruction is not followed, and the instruction if you not follow, then there is a you have to take the chastisement. By that chastisement, we will correct ourselves, and we will not make the mistakes again and again. So that it is a great benediction for a devotee to progress in spiritual life. So unfortunately, this is not in the case of the case in the material world, because somebody chastises me, you give it back. So this is not like that in the spiritual life. So this is what I can say about this verse for today. And since today's verse is correction and punishment, please, if any correction is there, you can correct, and punishment is there, I'm ready to accept it as a benediction. So I'll stop here. Any correction is there? Any comments? Please let me know. Thanks for this opportunity. So this is this verse, which today's verse, Bhagavatam. I learned many things, and it is not that I'm saying to others. It is not I'm excluding myself. I'm including myself also. So this verse also holds good for me, and I will also try whatever best possible by the blessings of all the Vaishnavas here to take the punishment as chastisement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for sharing your perspective on chastisement, and also helping us understand to develop the right perspective. The past times definitely helped us, and also towards the end, your understandings and realizations definitely will help us put things in the right perspective. Should be open for suggestions, and should be ready for accepting the chastisement as a mercy from the superiors in order for us to progress in our spiritual path. Devotees can unmute themselves to share any reflections, or if they have any questions, please ask.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the nectar, Prabhu. Wonderful. You gave wonderful pastimes to at least make me realize that chastisement is actually good. It's for our purification. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Pramod, Nitai, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for nice class, Prabhuji. I have one question, Prabhuji. When we are being chastised, because of our conditioned situation, immediately mind doesn't accept that. And, we started, at least in my case, I start thinking negatively about that devotee. So, how should we receive it, probably, when we are being chastised for any deficiency in the service or for some other reason? The first step, of course, ideally what you said, we have to take it as a punishment and humbly accept it. But at least when we are hearing that, how we should handle it, Prabhuji? That's the first step, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. As I told, no, there cannot be. We should know that there cannot be glorification all the time.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
when we are doing surveys or some surveys given by the superiors or something, mistakes will bound to happen, and definitely there should be correction. But when we see from this verse, a devotee knows that so-called punishment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or his devotees or his followers, is to favor or to correct his devotee and bring back to the right path. That we have to understand. If at all we think that why is he chastising me, or we take it as offense, and we definitely, as we heard in this verse, that we will not progress. So it should be a conscious effort that whenever there is a correction, we have to take it, and we can analyze it, and we can sit and think over it, and we should make a conscious effort that we should take this correction for our own purification. So that's what my answer is to you, Prabhu. And Prabhupada says punishments are not pains. There are big blessings from the Krishna, the devotees, or the Guru. So this punishment, we can go closer to Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhu. And another question, Prabhu. This pastime between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which verse it is, Prabhuji? If you can share it, that would be nice.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I will share it to you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Nitai, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat, Prabhu.
Wonderful, wonderful, Prabhu. What is the punishment for me? Very wonderful, very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. Let me also hope that I'll do what you instructed today.
This is not from me, Prabhu. I also took the words from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Prabhupada. Whatever they said, I just repeated.
Prabhu, I just had one question. In terms of, normally we do our service for the pleasure of our spiritual master and for the pleasure of other devotees. So after somebody chastises, we did something okay. What should be our mood? Because should we be upset that we are able to serve them nicely, or what should be our mood? Should since we should do it for the pleasure of others, how do we take it? How should we receive that particular chastisement?
Yeah, similar question as of Shankarshan Priya Prabhu only. Yeah, see, that's what we should understand, that whenever there is a chastisement, definitely our we cannot get our ego. Of course, we're all sadhakas and we are trying to follow Krishna. We're trying to do some service and Krishna conscious and everything. But even then, we should not keep it in the heart for a long time. Even though we get hurt, even though our ego is hurt, so we should come and talk to the devil, because we should see that it is only the issue. It is not as a personality. So even when I see sometimes my seniors or something arguing for a point for some time, but after some time I see they were very close to them, hugging each other, talking as usual, and with love and everything. So the devotional service and the relationship goes very nicely, and I see they continue. And if some issue come again, they may have an argument or some this one. So, but it should be only for the issue and not the personality. So that if we get that, and we should come out of this, and after that we should be together serving each other, so that even if somebody also watches us also, they watch us, and some may take that it is an offense. But when when we came together, then see, oh, this chastisement will be going on. But these devotees are so lovingly be together and serving Krishna. So that is what we should look at it.
Okay, Prabhu.
Is this question answers your? Is this answer okay, Prabhu, for you or?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, certainly it is there, because what I was seeing is from the devotee's perspective. I mean, even this. This is not a question of ego. What I'm just referring to here, it's more of how does the person take it for, to do better service, because the person wants to do a very good service, but he's upset that he's not able to serve for the pleasure of the other devotee. So should it be taken as a frustration, or he should further improve more? How he should take it? That was my specific.
Yeah, definitely for the improvement, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful nectar.
Harish Prabhuji, there is a question in the chat window. Can you please answer it?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhuji, thanks for the teaching us to take the punishment and difficulties and love and mercy of the Lord in the Supreme. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. But nowadays we see in the school or the home, whenever the teacher, parents scolds or punishes children, it is not to take in a positive way. It is for their benefit. Nowadays, children cannot take punishment. So how to handle such issues? yesterday itself, I was discussing with some devotee the same point. Yes, when we were young, we were getting chastisement and punishment from the teachers. Nowadays, it is very difficult, when somebody chastises our children or punishes in the school, it will become a big issue, and it will become a very, very, very big issue. Even the teachers are scared to correct the children nowadays. Yes, it is because yes, in this material world, everybody is want to get glorified. That is what it is. So so when we are bringing up our children, we should chastise. At the same time, we have to give the love and affection to them. But when I was reading yesterday, of his words, Prabhupada says that there was a first school started from this was somewhere in the zone. So the disciples writes to Srila Prabhupada that sometimes the devotee children are not up to the mark, or we have to hit with the stick or something like that. Then Prabhupada says, no, you should not hit the children. You should show only the stick to the children, and you should correct them with love and affection. So that's what Srila Prabhupada gives the instruction. That then when time to time we correct them with love and devotion, when time to time we sometimes we should show the stick so that they get scared. So this will be going on. This should be going on so that the children also loves to hear the very lovingly relationship. And also if they take the stick, they can take the chastisement and they can correct themselves. So yes. Okay, is there any other questions? Then we can.
Sure, Prabhuji. We can conclude with Vaishnava pranams.
Yeah. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Anantakoti Vaishnava Bhaktavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. We will conclude here. We'll meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.